Hey guys, how are you? Welcome into a Tuesday morning edition of the Daily Juice podcast. My name is Matt Perrault. I'm your host every single morning for this 15-minute podcast here on BettingPros.com. Always being brought to you by BetMGM and the offer that's above me on our YouTube video where you find the video on YouTube. $10 to win $150 on any event with that promo code JUICE150 for a new account at sign up with BetMGM, BetMGM.com on the BetMGM app. JUICE150, that promo code. $10 to win $150 on any event. Okay, so it's been a bad 3 days, and again, another bet goes down, unfortunately, because of a total, and this is where, excuse me, betting totals have been a problem. Amazingly, that last touchdown at the end of the game covered the teaser. If you had teased the Bears up to 12.5, that touchdown late got there for you. So congratulations, you got a miracle there. No extra point means there's not a push on anybody who bet it late with the -7 on the Vikings. The Vikings were, again, involved in a one-score game, but the Bears, man, I mean, they failed to score any points on 3 trips to the red zone where they turned the football over. I mean, that's just Matt Nagy, man. Nagy's so bad. Why weren't they going up tempo, and why weren't they passing on one of the worst passing defenses in the NFL? I don't understand. They are so bad. Like, I know Justin Fields makes mistakes. I understand that. But when you have receivers, and Darnell Mooney got there for us, that was the only bet we got right. We went 1-2. He goes over 50.5. Unfortunately, the 2 catches for Dalvin Cook, he gets 2 yards on those 2 catches, so not great there. But 1-1 on the prop bets, 0-1 on the teaser. I don't know, man. I mean, the Bears probably should have won that game. I mean, I don't know. They can't fire that entire coaching staff fast enough. I mean, they are just clueless. Play calling, game planning. I mean, I feel for you Bears fans. I really do. That stinks, man. You are in there. Justin Fields is going to be a good quarterback. He needs a better head coach. He needs better play calling. He'll be okay, but turnovers and just really poor play. And then the Vikings couldn't capitalize either. I mean, my goodness. And Vikings, they didn't look great. I mean, Kirk Cousins had, 87 yards passing last night? Okay. Yikes. So just the whole thing was brutal. So the good news is the Raiders got there and the Raiders win. So the Raiders cash our 1-unit ticket for over 6.5 wins. And we came back with a money line bet on half a unit on the Browns at plus a half a unit. So unfortunately, that would have, if we didn't do that, we would have been down 0.2 units. It would have been pretty much a flat day, but instead we did that, so we wind up down 0.7 units. So not a full unit, 0.7, a little blood, not a lot of blood, but Saturday was bad. Sunday was kind of a wash, right? And then we were 4-3 on Sunday, but down a little bit. And we go 1-2. I guess technically we went 2-3, right? Yeah, so 2-3 on Monday as we head towards Tuesday. Now, we are not used to having NFL football games on this day. We have 2 of them. We also have 2 bowl games. I've got 1 pick in the NFL and 1 pick in college to give you, but I'm going half a unit, okay? When I'm cold, and you can fade me all you want, okay? But this is when I shrink, and this is the advice I give to anybody. I can't get in a bad mood because it's Christmas, and it's Christmas week, and so, it's really hard for me to get into a bad mood. I just, whatever. We have a million things going on. We're all super busy, Christmas parties, and going all over the place, worrying about COVID. The NHL just shut down, okay? The NBA is not far behind. It feels like the NBA is just trying to get to their Christmas Day games, and then the NBA will shut down for at least a little bit. And so we have a lot of real-world problems going on. And frankly, these games are tough. And with these COVID issues and questions, and it's just a very tough time to gamble. It's a very tough time to be in the market. And so I'm cold. So on top of that, so now we have to shrink and we have to drop our unit size down or drop just our number of size of our bets down. So that's what I do for right now is I start betting half units until I get through it, until I can kind of get my feet back underneath me. We'll start betting half units. So I have 1 bowl game bet. I have 1 NFL game. I will tell you right here, I am only going to bet the Washington football team and the Eagles. I'm only going to bet props in that game. What props am I going to bet? Well, I'm not going to touch props until right before kickoff because I do not trust what's happening with COVID, and I'm not going to bet on a player that might change the entire situation from a bet perspective on a prop. So I'm not going to bet the props for the Eagles and the Washington football team until later today in the Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat. And the link is underneath me here on YouTube to get into the Discord channel. That's where I will put the Discord, the prop bets for Washington and Philadelphia. So let's start with the NFL. Line is 7, Seattle in the Rams. Now, this game being pushed back from Sunday to Tuesday enabled a bunch of players for the Rams to come off the COVID list, okay? And Jalen Ramsey is off the COVID list. Odell Beckham Jr. is off the COVID list. Darrell Henderson is off the COVID list. So is pretty much a bunch of the big-time players for this Rams defense and offense. Aaron Donald is off the COVID list, okay? So because of that, now you've got issues with the Seattle Seahawks in COVID. Tyler Lockett is on COVID. Alex Collins is on COVID. DJ Reed is on COVID. They've got about 7 players who have tested positive here since the game. If they played the game on Sunday, it probably wouldn't have had as big of an impact COVID-wise on Seattle. So these two teams have actually flipped with their COVID issues. The Rams are getting a bunch of players back, and Seattle is not. They're losing players. And Seattle is angry about this, okay? They're not happy that this game is being played on Tuesday in LA instead of being played on Sunday in LA. The Rams had around 30 players testing positive for COVID, but they could be pretty close to full strength come game time here. Seattle is 7-6 against the spread this year. LA 6-7. Last time out, big win by the 3-point dog against Arizona. Time before that, they won the game by 30, laying 14 points at home against Jacksonville. Time before that, they had lost 3 games in a row. But it looks like the Rams are starting to come into their own. It looks like the Rams are starting to play better football. Seattle's a pretty popular dog. So, a lot of people say Seattle +7 here, okay? But in the first meeting between these two teams, it was a 2.5-point line in Seattle. They lost by 9, and Aaron Donald was an absolute beast. They couldn't move the football. It was just, they struggled to really have any type of offensive consistency at all. They couldn't run the ball, and they couldn't really pass the ball. Seattle's 5-8 on the year, and on the road, they're 3-4 straight up. At home, LA is 4-2 straight up. And, well, I mean, I don't know how many more points they're going to score than the 17 points Seattle scored in the first matchup at home. Rams scored 26 points. The line is 7. Total is 46. I just think LA's getting healthy. I think Seattle's got big issues here, and I think the Rams are got a huge break by having this game being pushed to Tuesday. Half a unit, I'm laying the 7. Rams -7. I'm not doing teasers. I'm not touching totals, okay? I'm just going to go ahead and bite the bullet and hope the Rams win the game by 8 points. I'm going to lay the 7 with the Rams, and I know Seattle on the road been pretty productive, and they're a tough team, and they've got weapons. I just think that they're going to be down. I mean, Lockett being out could be huge. I think it's going to be huge for this offense here for Seattle. I know they're 4-3 on the road, and, well, they covered their last game against Houston, laying 9.5, winning by 20. They were 1.5-point favorites against Washington. The road game before that, they lost by 2. They were catching 3 points against Green Bay. They lost by 17. And I think this game's going to be right around there. I think the Rams win it by about 17 points. I think it's okay laying the 7 points here. Initially, it was 6.5. Now it's 7. I'm going to lay the 7. Rams -7, half unit against Seattle. Other half a unit. Where am I going? Let's go to the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Kent State against Wyoming. Strength against strength in a lot of places here. You got an offense for Kent State averaging 30 points a game. You got a defense for Wyoming giving up just 23 points a game. You got an offense for Wyoming that does not score very much. They're going to score 23 points a game. And a Kent State defense that gives up points. 37 points per game given up by the Golden Flashes in Kent State. They give up 6.1 yards per play, but Wyoming only has an offense that goes 5.5 yards per play. Wyoming is a grinder of a football team. Wyoming wants to play defense and make you make mistakes. Kent State is a team that wants to run the ball down your throat, and the one thing that Wyoming's not great at is stopping the run. They're very good at stopping the pass. In fact, they only give up 175 yards through the air. That's third best in the entire country in FBS football. However, they give up 4.5 yards per rush. Kent State runs 5 yards per rush. That's 29th best in the country. And they run the ball for 222 yards per game. That's 9th best in the country. On the other side, Wyoming, 175 yards per game given up is 93rd best in the country. So here's my big thing. If Kent State, who is catching 3.5 points, total is 59.5. A lot of people like the over in this game. I think it's going to be high scoring because Kent State's offense is going to be able to move the ball on the ground with big plays, but Wyoming's going to be able to come back and score as well because they've got a pretty good running attack themselves. 4.9 yards per rush, 32nd best in the country, 200 yards a game, that's 26th best in the country, and Kent gives up 4.8 yards per rush, 102nd, and 194 yards per game, that's 103rd. You can also throw a little bit on Kent State's defense, but the offense for Wyoming, they're not great at throwing the football really either. I think Kent State's big play offense is going to be the difference here in this game. I think they can make bigger plays to keep themselves close. I'm not sure I love the total is going over here. I think it could go under with both teams running the football, but I think Kent State's running attack is better than Wyoming's defense. I got 3.5 points. I'm going to take the 3.5 points. 6-2 so far, I think the number is for underdogs in bowl games so far. It's been a very good year for underdogs in bowl games. I got over a field goal here. I'm going to take the 3.5 for a half a unit. Let's take Kent State. That game is a 3:30 kickoff in Boise, Idaho, East Coast time. So it's a day game coming up here today. I think it's a 12:30 kickoff on the West Coast, or maybe it's a 1:30 kickoff. I think they're Mountain time. So I think it's a 1:30 kickoff, local time, 12:30 here on the West Coast, 3:30 Eastern for the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Kent State at Wyoming. Give me plus 3.5. I'm taking Kent State as a dog for a half a unit. Okay, so I will have some player props going on for the NFL, definitely for the Eagles and the Washington football team. Just nothing as of right now. I'm laying the 7 for a half a unit. We're going Rams -7, half a unit, and we're going Kent State plus 3.5 for a half a unit here today. Just one unit, probably have a couple of props. That's about it. A little bit of a lighter day. Hopefully try to stop the bleeding a little bit here for us with the Daily Juice podcast. Now, my name is Matt Perrault. Follow me on Twitter @SportsTalkMatt. Each and every morning, it's the Daily Juice podcast. Always being brought to you by BetMGM.